All right. Subscribe to the fl0m Clips and Highlights channel. We're actually, I think, almost at 27,000 already, which is insane. The Clips and Highlights channel is currently progressing faster than the main channel, which is pretty nuts. JL5, insane year. Not just from him, but from Navi in general. He was he was the reason they won the major. There were other aspects to it for sure, but at the end of the day, his performance at the major was unbelievable. And he also had a strong pro league, if I remember right. It's just funny, like, I think he's a great person to use to talk about, like, dude, do you guys remember when Navi announced this roster? Like, can we just all take a moment to appreciate that? Like, look at the results. Look at what these guys have done. It's crazy, man. Like, it was absolutely crazy what they've done. International roster to have the success they did, breaking up, like, dude, the best player in CSGO history stopped playing and they did this. Like, that's not to, people are really petty and like to try to make it like a simple versus old. No, just like appreciate like what they did. It's insane. I was pretty critical of this roster. Shut up, face it. And I was just wrong. That being said, they've done things I think that we haven't seen in Counter-Strike, so appreciate them for that as well. I thought parts of this roster were cool, but I also thought I thought this was going to be a much longer term situation, and it just wasn't. Like, I thought this was going to be a longer, like, you know, simmer or growth, and it just absolutely was not, man. Like, they just hit, oh, well, not perfectly, but pretty fucking close in terms of teams that go from speaking one language to moving to like English for an international roster. It's gotta be the best we've ever seen. And JL went from doing really good on Apex to becoming a star player on Navi. Emma was brought in for that. And then Emma has like evolved into the secondary IGL role. Bit is still doing his thing. Also, Bit's English, I would love for Navi, I don't know how they could do this, but to hear Bit's English progressively get better, to also then look at Navi's results, because I feel like that dude is so talented at the game and he has such a good mind for the game. I imagine that helped propel them forward. But all this to say, JL had an insane year. I think 5 is where I would have placed him. I think Nico individually had a better year. I also think JL was a little hot and cold, but he was hot at one of the best times you could ever be hot. So I think he had a couple cool offs at different times that were not ideal, but at the end of the day, he had a phenomenal year, dude. 5 is, for a rifler, is insane work. There's only going to be one rifler ahead of JL this year. Like, that's not, I know I saw some people think this was too high. I saw some people think this was low because of the major MVP. This is right where I would have had him for the year. Oh my God. What an idiot. Laugh at the streamer. Dude, I'm so used to an Opera always being number one. I just default brained. Everybody laugh at the streamer. How could I ever forget Donk? Well, we won't forget Donk, but sorry. He's behind Donk and Nico. Sorry. What an idiot. Everybody laugh at me. What an absolute, dude, who could make that mistake? My God. Honestly, maybe unsubscribe. Jesus. No, but still, the point still stands. He had a phenomenal year. I think he could have gotten above Nico, actually, if he had a couple cool offs there. And then I think Nico, Nico had a shit tournament too. Don't forget, I think it was Rio. Was it Rio? 0.45. Right? Didn't they win Blast? He smashed the desk, went to Rio, and they just... But they just got that one out of the way. G2 lost so bad we forgot they even went to Rio. Let's see whose bold prediction is. I'm curious. I have no idea who this is. 16-year-old 1.07 rating on Navi. Is Navi Jr. just cracked? Like, everybody at Navi Jr. just insane? I think that's the same. Yeah. I was gonna say Lithuania getting some love. Bro doesn't even have an HLTV picture, but 16 years old, Navi Jr., and he got the nod from JL. Kid's gonna be cracked. I've seen enough. Complexity, sign him. I mean, shout out his YouTube channel. JL is becoming a content creator as well. My God, dude's coming for. He's doing side quests that he's owning. The question is, really, I've said for some people, I think they'll place higher next year. I don't know if he'll place higher next year. It's not a skill issue for him. I'm so curious as to, like, as Navi, God damn it, face it, as Navi evolves, I wonder, like, if he has to do what he's been doing. Like, I think he'll be top 20 next year, especially if Navi has even somewhat similar success as they did this year. But I feel like in a way they don't need him to do this as much as they evolve. We'll see. We'll see.